Tandi's 18, she passed grade 12 last year. Maybe she just had her 19th birthday. She was part of a group of about just under 1.4 million who enrolled for school in January of 1999. She was part of a group of less than 600,000 who wrote the exam, and then you get to your 68.75% pass rate that we celebrated in January this year. That's Tandi. Of the group, 13% got a university exemption, if you wish, and an additional 12% got sufficient qualification to register for diploma. So, out of the group who started school together, there's a 13% chance that Tandi would get to university. Now, disaggregated a little bit, because this includes every Lani school in the country, every private school is included, disaggregated a bit, and Tandi, as an African girl child in a school where primarily Africans go, has a 4% chance of getting university pass. This is general lottery now. We're not into Powerball yet, but this is lottery. 4% chance that you'll be able to get into university. But let's assume that she passed matric but didn't get into university for a whole host of reasons. The prospects of her getting a job in the first year are 13%. So there's an 87% chance that by the end of this year, 2011, Tandi will be sitting at home, having been disaffected somewhere in the year, not knowing where to look for jobs any longer. The chances of her getting a job in the first 5 years, 1 in 4. The chances of her, because the situation deteriorates, finding a job in those first 5 years that would start off paying her more than a median of 4,000 Rand a month, 2%. And if she found herself in that position where she didn't find a job or were in that 2% range, in fact, the prospects are very great that she'll get piecework here and there, and the first time that she'll actually break through the poverty line would be when she gets a pension at the age of 60. Go on. Do the maths yourself. This is the story, and I think that what we need to understand is the reason why we plan is not to reintroduce costs, but to try and take the lottery out of life and to use measures, because you can tell the story in different ways. But to find those measures that we will use to be able to engage with people differently so that we can measure progress. I would hazard that if Tandi were living around Ilovo and went to Rodin, the chances would look very different. On the 9th of June, we tabled the diagnostic, and we set right at the center of all of it the 2 strategic objectives: eliminate poverty and reduce inequality, and then raised 9 challenges. And from amongst those 9, we highlighted the 2 as being in need of the most attention. Too few South Africans work. Well, no, let's change that. Too few South Africans are in employ. The work issue might be a bit too subjective. And the second issue is that the education outcomes for the majority of South Africans are very poor. And so, part of what we've had to do is to recognize that the plan must respond to those challenges. And so, first thing, too few jobs, you need to create jobs. We need to expand infrastructure. We need to use our resources sustainably. We need to transform space, both urban and rural space, clearly. We need to transform education outcomes. We need to focus on quality healthcare. And there's a long report contained, because it's not just about more drugs, it's also about intervening on behavioral change, because so much of what's happening in our healthcare system is a consequence of behavior. Build a capable state, tackle corruption head on, focus on unity, and as we deal with those issues, clearly, we'll move with an emphasis on prosperity and equity. Apart from those 4 issues, those 9 issues, 4 were added along the way. The 4 that were added are integrated rural economy, issues of social protection, issues of citizen safety, and lastly, the positioning of South Africa in Africa and the world.